All right, guys, check this out. Google is moving to protect your Android phones from anonymous apps. Now, I don't know if I like this or not because it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. If you have an Android phone, you've had the ability to have freedom and you're not locked down like the way iOS and Apple users have been all of their lives of security, security, security. And they're saying that starting in 2026, they got something called developer verification, and it will require every app, whether it's from the Play Store, a third party store, or downloaded discreetly or directly or sideloaded, to be registered by a verified developer before it can be installed on a certified Android device. Now, this is good. Eh, At least you know who the person is that downloaded, so that way, if they give you any viruses or something like that, we'll know who did it as opposed to somebody just not doing it. So think of it like showing your ID at the airport, not for what you're carrying, but who you are. Basically, they just want to fact check who you are, is what they're saying. Google isn't inspecting the app content, it's just verifying who made it. And they're saying when and where this is rolling out. They're saying October 2025, early access opens for select developers to test and give feedback. So they're saying, hey, we're going to test this out. So it sounds like this is a positive thing, right? And they're saying, but by March 2026, verification opens for all developers. Anyone distributing apps can register. And then September of 2026, mandatory enforcement begins in Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. So if you're abroad and you're an app developer, well, basically, this is the month. If you're abroad, you got to start verifying yourself. So you can't no longer verify any of this stuff and say, I don't want to verify myself or anything like that. Why is Google doing all of this? It's saying side-loaded apps have 50 times more malware than apps from the Play Store. And Google's goal is to make it harder for repeat offenders to slip back in under a different name. And they're saying that the developer ID ties apps to real world identities and holds bad actors accountable. If you're already on the Play Store, you likely already meet these requirements. If you distribute outside, you'll use the new Android developer console, including the lighter version for students and hobbyists. So that's like for the college kids that want to develop their apps, they just got to verify themselves. Some people in the communities are upset because they're saying that this is the start of Android becoming more like iOS, where sideloading freedom gets restricted. Critics warn that this may shut out independent developers, hobbyists, or ad blockers and pull some autonomy away from users. Now, it doesn't apply to uncertified devices, so this change only affects the certified Android devices. Those that ship with Google Play services have passed the Google compatibility test. So if I'm going over your head, if you don't understand what's going on, if you got an Android phone and you bought it in the United States, you're pretty much already past the Google Play Store compatibility. The average person is going to use the Google Play Store to download apps, but there's always that every blue moon, hey, I found this app and they didn't want to pay to put it in the Google Play Store. That's one way, right? Two, they said, hey, I don't want to go through the authentication of going through Google. I just want to do my own thing. It's kind of like you jailbreaking something, and you know, the ones that know, they know. I like my jailbroken stuff, if you get my drift. But the problem is some people put malware and they put bad things in there. So if you don't go downloading some stuff, you'll be all right. Now, why this matters? They're saying better app safety. You'll get an extra layer of protection when side loading, a verified ID backing each app. It's still open, but just changing. Side loading stays legal, but developers must identify themselves to play. That's all they're saying. Privacy concerns. Basically, if you're an independent developer and hobbyist, they may feel like they're exposed or discouraged. So maybe they don't want you to find out who they are. They don't want you knowing what they're doing. They don't want that in their lives, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Regional rollout. If you're in the US, nothing immediate changes. But if you're international, that global shift is coming. Revis, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it sounds like it's a little bit more security. It could probably eliminate a lot of phishing.
Yeah, right.
So it sounds like a pretty good idea. I feel like my phone is safe.
You feel like your phone is safe. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to worry about it if you're not downloading something that you're not supposed to be downloading, if that makes sense. If you're not downloading anything that you're not supposed to be touching, you don't have that worry. And I tell people all the time, make sure you fact check whatever it is that you do anyway. So I have some people that look out for me, and I'll ask a question or two and say, hey, do you think this is good? And they'll run through their security checks and they say, yeah, this is a nice app to rock with. And then some people will say, no, 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 don't touch that. But it's always the grandmas or the aunties and the uncles that don't know nothing about tech that's out here touching some stuff that they're not supposed to be touching. And then now all of a sudden the phone has gotten hacked, and it's like, uh-oh, what have I done? I've really messed up. And that's where you run into that problem, if that makes sense. So, audience, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is good? This is bad? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on your phone, if you're on your computer, let us know how you really feel about what's going on over here. Do you think that this is a good situation? Revis, do you download apps that you're not supposed to be downloading?
Do Pornhub have an app?
You got a website. At least you're being honest, brother. I mean, they passed a new law. Now you have to verify yourself. Some people don't like that. And unfortunately, a lot of people have been shut out. Some people are using VPNs to work around that. I don't think that they necessarily have an app per se, but they have a website.
No, I don't click on stuff. I don't download stuff unless I pretty much know what it is. It's got to be verified for me. My phone is something that I use every day. Pretty much I just Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I got a couple other things that I download that I may get on, but that's it.
Okay, that's what's up. It's the Lab Tech Show. Join us Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern at thelabtechshow.com. Embrace it or get left behind.
Alrighty then.